Hello, this is Peter from ZZIPP Media here in Weymouth. Today you find me down at the dig just by the old council offices, which you can see behind me. Today I'm going to do an interview with, if I can switch the camera around. Okay, if you could like to give me your name and...
Hi, I'm Richard McConnell. I'm Director here at Context One Heritage and Archaeology, and we're carrying out the evaluation, the preliminary investigation of the former council offices site here. We're excavating 4 trenches, 2 of which have already been excavated, and we've investigated those. And now we're looking at the other 2 on the eastern side of the council offices in the car park area. We've targeted the trenches over over the high street, the former high street, and some of the properties there. And we believe that here we've got a trench here 10 metres long. It looks as though we're probably sort of crossing over, straddling 2 properties here. We think that this is 2 and 3 High Street. Right. And the trench over towards North Quay and the road frontage there is probably number 4. North Quay. Right. Sorry, number 3, right next to the former Tudor house. Right. So, where do you think it's going to go from here? When you finish this dig, what's going to progress? Yeah, well, I mean, we've now collected the results from the first 2 trenches. We're sort of early stages in the excavation of these 2 trenches. Right. And when that's over, probably towards the end of next week, we'll then collate all our site records, all our photographs, all our site drawings and our site records and so on, put those all together, assess all the finds that we collect from the trenches, and then we'll compile a technical report, an assessment report, which will provide all the sort of results of all of the information we've gathered. Sure. And then that will be submitted to Dorset Council. Right. And that document will be considered alongside the future planning application for the redevelopment of the offices site here. Right. So what have you found so far? Anything really? Well, we've been very lucky because one of the things we didn't know as to what survival we might have had within all the trenches effectively. We know that it was bulldozed and demolished in the early 1960s, but of course there were no records kept of what might have been left here. So it is very much an unknown. So, but we're very lucky in that most of the trenches have produced archaeology. Right. Some of that has been removed as part of the demolition process, but we've got enough left so far to suggest that there has been a medieval phase, which we anticipated anyway. If it was here, we know that Weymouth was founded here in the medieval period. Certainly, we know it was a town by 1250, but there's been no archaeological evidence to support that at all. So we've certainly got evidence for a medieval building, at least one anyway, and certainly in these trenches we've got evidence for later sequence of buildings so far. So we're down on to, say, 18th and 19th century activity, and we're hoping later on in this investigation of these 2 trenches to uncover earlier evidence. Great. It's fabulous what you're finding. I mean, you're finding stone floors and all kinds of things. It's extraordinary. It is extraordinary, and I think that what we didn't realise was that literally under the tarmac and a thin sort of layer of gravel, that actually most of the surfaces that were left here after the demolition in the 1960s is still here, particularly on this side of the site anyway. So we've been incredibly fortunate, and it allows us now to really get a sort of a good look as to not only what was left at the last phase of activity on the site, but also the earlier iterations of the site here as well. So we're very excited. I'm sure it will still yield some more. We'll encounter some more things yet, and the story will unfold as we go through these last couple of trenches. But we're very encouraged by the results so far. Great. Well, thank you for that. That's been really interesting. No, pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you. Thank you.
There. You just want to get under there.
There's the modern surface fringe.
Yeah. How many of us can come down tonight and do another bit?
The whole site would be like this.